I cannot believe that in 2020, where are we right now? 2023? I feel like 2020s have just been a blur because of COVID, but whatever. Okay, we are still like having such negligent screw ups that like don't need to happen, which gives me little faith in the progress that's unsinkable, like God-defying ship. That was like over a fucking 100 years ago. The amount of technology, computers, parts, engineering that has come along in the last 100 years, it just, like, why are we still sinking out there? There's like 4 other fucking wrecks down there. I mean, it is very, like, far down, right? It's like pressure, you run out of oxygen. If you come up too fast, you could die. If you go down too quick, you could die, like... But people that do this for a living, like, that's easy shit. They should know this, right? They should be able to calculate that. Too, like, have learned from the Titanic's mistakes, right? Because a lot of the mistakes they made were like, oh yeah, like, let's have a shitty communication system. So if we try to reach out for help, we can't, and like, they won't even be able to help us. Like, because somebody could just have gone there, sat above the water, let them go down, and if they needed any help in an emergency situation, they had backup on top of the ocean that was like, all right guys, we got to go down and save their asses. It would have took 2 hours, but oh my god, this sounds exactly like the Titanic story. It would have taken 2 hours, but their lives would have been saved, bro. Like, the same thing happened with the Titanic and the California, and it's crazy. And all because they were a bunch of cocky assholes. They were like, you know what? Fuck these guys over on the Titanic. Phone off. Putting it on Do Not Disturb. Fuck you guys. You're on your own with your cocky asses. Well, same thing happened again. This cocky, ignorant, fucking Woody from Toy Story looking fuck totally just, he killed people for no reason. He knew that there were things wrong with the submarine that were obvious. There are obvious safety concerns, as there were with the Titanic. But bitch, this is over 100 years later. 100 years, it's 2023. There's no excuse for this shit. None. And you're like making this high-end thing. Like, you have the money. You don't have to cut corners. Like, ignorantly oblivious to the things that you actually knew were unsafe, yet you fucking did it anyway. They should seriously sue the tits off this little idiot rat. I don't know. And it, like I said, it could have been avoided. This guy's like charging $200,000 and you're going to be so cheap about your shit. Like, and these people with money, they don't know any better. Like, I hate to say it, they don't. Yeah, but people with money, they're paying for you to know, right? If you're an expert, somebody's paying you lots of money, they're paying you to fucking know, okay? So don't charge if you don't fucking know. Like, this is what I can't stand, like, and I know money can't guarantee your safety, and you know what? It fucking shouldn't. You know what should guarantee your safety? Your intelligence. Your intelligence should guarantee your safety. But when you're paying somebody for their expertise, and you're all of a sudden, like, the expert in the room, and, like, they ain't shit, like, what then? Because this guy, like, is charging all this money for such a shitty service. He cut corners left and right. He didn't know. These mistakes could have been easily avoidable. A fucking movie director knew that, and you didn't, and this is your job. Like, I don't get it, dude. You had the money to spend. Corners, like, I really mean that to people out there. Don't fucking cut corners. If this is involving safety in people's lives and bridges and surgeries and, like, just building something important, even if it's a computer, please don't fucking cut corners. If you're building a car, don't fucking cut corners. You don't need to cut corners. It doesn't cost that much more money. All it does is you just have to think a little more. Like, people don't want to think anymore, and they just want to throw money at the problem and think it's going to help, and it's not. Nobody's going to save you if you're a fucking idiot. Think. Please just think and stop allowing this shit to happen. Like, it is grossly negligent. This guy should be sued. I don't care if he's down there himself. Bring his corpse back up and take him to court. So much negligence going on in the world, and he's part of the problem. It's this, like, rich, privileged, I don't have to follow the rules. I don't have to do anything because I have money and I could just pretend and fake it. Like so many people do. Doctors do this. Engineers do this. Technology companies do this, and it's so scary, and it shouldn't be the norm. You cannot even rely on experts in America. So yeah, you know what? Honestly, we're on our own. Use your own judgment. If you go to, I don't know, if you go to a doctor, if you go to buy a computer, if you go to on a flight, at this point, we're on our own. Think for yourself. If something looks fishy, tell somebody and get the fuck out of there, because nobody looking out for you. 2023, but we haven't learned. We haven't learned a single fucking lesson. I guess, you know what? It's perfect time for AI to take over. Perfect time. Here, take it away, AI, because we're done.